Hello, everyone in the audience. This is Bishnu Pal. I welcome all of you in the audience for your interest to know PhD program and research that is being carried out till for last 5 years. It is to be known as the Mahindra Ecole Centrale. So we just got the status of a university, and now the engineering portion division would be known as Ecole Central School of Engineering under the Mahindra University. Now, we would immediately start from the fall semester the PhD program. So this webinar is all about what kinds of research that our faculty do or are involved, what kinds of facilities that you have in terms of research infrastructure at this with us. So that is what I'm going to share with you. So what is the PhD? PhD it implies the Doctor of Philosophy, as most of you will know, and it has derived this name from a Latin word, philosophia, doctor. Is the highest academic degree, as you all know. And sometimes people ask, the new students often sometimes ask who comes for research with an advisor, why it is called a philosophy. Because philosophy means love of wisdom. Is the highest degree awarded to a candidate who has love for wisdom. Now, when I was starting my research, I had this question of what is research? So someone, an English professor whom I used to know, told me that it means that somebody has done some search and you as a researcher is going to researching the same. So if you look up the dictionary, it will tell you that research implies systematic investigation into a topic or field of study in order to establish new facts and reach new conclusions beyond what has been already known as a prior knowledge in the literature. Now, there are 3 steps. You have to appreciate that there are 3 steps to getting a PhD degree. The step 1, those who get admitted after an interview and to our college or university, the student has to do a coursework of 24 credits if he is a BSc or BTech qualified, and 18 credits for those who come with an MTech degree as a qualification. Step 2, once you finish that coursework, in which you'll have to score certain CGPA, then you start getting to initiation of research in consultation with whoever you choose as an advisor. So advisor will advise you that what is research, what you are expected to do, and things like that. And you will start working on some research-oriented problem with the guidance of your advisor. And eventually, you'll have to appear for what we call as a PhD defense or PhD defense for a comprehensive examination, what we call as a comprehensive examination. The comprehensive examination has 2 components. One is the written test, to test your knowledge in terms of your preparation for the PhD work, followed by you will deliver a seminar in front of a research advisory committee, which will be formed for every PhD student by the concerned department. So once you clear both this, you start doing your comprehensive research. So beyond the comprehensive examination, you carry out very comprehensive research, or a full-time research, I would say, on an identified topic. The topic has to be identified in consultation with your advisors. And once you finish that, maybe 3 years or something like that, depending on your rate of progress, finally, the final day comes when you get the degree at the convocation. So once everything is over, you submit a thesis, it goes to 2 external examiners. Once that examiner's reports come, you defend your work in the form of a seminar in front of the whole department where you are registered with. Once you are once clear that the whole report goes to the Dean Academics, who passes it on to the Vice Chancellor, who eventually approves on behalf of the Academic Council, approves award of degree to you, which you will get at the annual convocation. There are two pictures here shown here, which are for our earlier convocation held at our college. Now, in terms of research at Ecole Centrale College and School of Engineering, we have a very strong emphasis on interdisciplinary nature and of research, and also applied. And research should be, as far as practicable, should be applied in nature. We encourage international journal and conference publications. In fact, all of you, those who join as a PhD scholar, you have to publish your research so that it stands to test by other experts in the world. So if your paper gets accepted in a journal, so that is a credit that whatever you have done, and a proof approved by rest of the scientists who read your paper, that your work is absolutely fine. We also encourage students to participate in conferences by submitting papers, and once it is accepted, some of you could also go and attend a conference. We also encourage sponsored research by government agencies like Department of Science and Technology or Science and Engineering Research Board. These are government of India agencies, DBT, Department of Biotechnology, etc. These are all government of India funding agencies. So our faculty approach them with a research proposal, and they try to defend it after review. And if it gets approved, then they get funded. And you may, as a research scholar, may be working for one of those funded projects for your advisor. We also encourage collaborative research with international groups. We already have several international research collaborations going on with countries like Austria, Bulgaria, Taiwan, and so on. And we also encourage our faculty to participate in national mission projects, mission level projects, like for mission level project for water and things like that. So when Government of India comes out with such mission projects, call for proposals for those mission projects, our faculty are welcome to submit. And if it gets through, then you get a good amount of funding. And all of this will eventually benefit a research scholar who joins the institute. Now, I will start with the specific departments now, describe our faculty and their kind of research they do. So all of you may not be able to follow, but it's just a snapshot. You can always go back to our website. We have a specifically research focused portion of the website. You will get details of the work done by each of the faculty involved in each department. All of them have a web page, and also the kind of research they do. So you can get more details from there, and their emails would be there. You can always contact any of my colleague faculty at any time via email. So this is the physics faculty, which we have, including myself. They are my colleagues. So broad areas of research in physics are the following: optics and photonics, materials for magnetic memory and solar cells. Magnetic memory also implies devices like spintronics, solar cells, special kind of perovskite, layer, which kind of solar cells where some of our colleagues are working. Tunable all dielectric metasurfaces, and also microfluidics for target and drug delivery. The title is good enough to give you an indication what kind of research that is involved in under this topic. All of this consists of both theory and experiment. Incidentally, one student has recently been guided by one of my physics colleagues here, Dr. Arya Bhattacharya, who the student was jointly registered with IIT Guwahati, because till now we did not have a postgraduate cell. Now we can directly take research students and register them. So that student was registered in IIT Guwahati, and he got his degree this year, a couple of months back. In terms of research facilities in the physics department, we are very, very well equipped in terms of high quality, expensive equipments. and which are very versatile in nature. For example, we have a surface analyzer, we have a multi-spin coater, high resolution optical microscope, we have a mask aligner, which is completely assembled and set up here in our institute for optical lithography. We also have TerraFlash, again a very high quality terahertz time to one spectroscopy measurement equipment, which has been bought a couple of years back from Toptica, Germany. Then we have also what you call as a parameter analyzer. That means essentially it's a tectonics instrument which allows you to measure. You make some material deposit, or you make a device. If it is an electrical device, you do need to measure its IV and capacitance for this measurements characteristics that you can measure in this tectonics equipment. This is actually also a very high-end equipment which from electronics. We have another equipment which is called DSA 8300. This is meant for S parameter measurement. Essentially, it measures the polarization state of an electromagnetic wave. We have a workstation with a 32 GB RAM. It's a very high powerful computer. So those who do pure theory work, for example, my colleague Jayashree, she does a high level of computation, numerical techniques. So the things can be done in this. Although we also have a NVIDIA supercomputer, which can also be used for such calculations. There's an electron beam evaporator, which is a make of high vacuum Bangalore. Hindai-Back, they are known in the commercial world. Its deposition rate could be very small to relatively high, 1 to 100 nanometer per minute. We also have a very high-end equipment, what is known as a Raman spectrometer, which is make of Horiba, and it allows you to non-destructive measurements of chemical structure, phase, whether the material is polymorphic or crystalline, and interactions at molecular level. Now, all these equipments which I have mentioned here is not necessarily just that it's meant for physics, is actually available to anyone in the institute or any group, any faculty to use it. Now I come to the electrical and electronics and electrical and electronics engineering department. So this is the faculty we have. As you can see that there are several faculty who have done their PhD abroad. So head of the department is Professor Arya Bhattacharya, who has a huge amount of industry experience. He was on the R&D of BHEL for 25 years. And then he did in between, he did a PhD from Auckland University in New Zealand. Professor K. Sharma is a very, very senior faculty with the electrical engineering department here. He is an illustrious professor or distinguished professor from IIT Kanpur, retired from there, had a PhD from Cornell. We have Sunil Bhushan has his PhD from Urbana and he did his PhD at IIT Delhi. Bhargav Rajaram, University of PhD, Scotland, UK, and so on. So you will get the more details of them, each of them, faculty, and when you visit the corresponding department, it's in our website. Now, research in the EEE department. I'll give you a little bit of glimpse of that. There's a strong work going on what you call as the Internet of Things, IoT architecture, and also on computer architecture. This picture shows some of the actuator design and control, including shape memory alloy characterizing controllability, which is capable, which is available in our EEE department. We also have a group of robotics, which is a combined, the research group consists combined effort by mechanical faculty and electrical engineering faculty. So this shows a path planning for a service robot, which was built last summer in collaboration with IIT Delhi by some of our students and a faculty from mechanical. And eventually it was reassembled here with the help of the EEE faculty who are very good in electronics. This the department in the EEE department also has a very good group on or subgroup, you can say, to work on 5G. So that involves information ICT technology, in particular with transportation, and in particular with transportation engineering and smart mobility, exploring solutions for enhanced mobility, sustained transport, and air pollution, what you call as the green transport. This is an equipment which was brought about a year and a half back, a complete 5G test bed. Continuing with research in EEE, we have also a group who works on electric motor vehicle. They employ things like what are known as the FPGA, which stands for programmable field programmable gate array. Their system, they employ that technique. They also use battery management systems to study research on that with things like Kalman filters, state of charge estimation, use of Kalman filters for state of charge estimation. This is a motor loading setup, and this is a lithium battery setup for SOC estimation, state of charge. We have another colleague who does work on power electronics. So this is essentially research involves a fair amount of diverse areas related to power electronics. This is distributed control of DC-AC microgrid using renewable energy sources, development of DC-AC, DC-AC converters using NI LabVIEW, DSPIC softwares. Then this is deep learning techniques are also used here, which are essentially artificial intelligence, which one of my colleagues, the Dean of Research, will eventually talk to you in this presentation towards the later part of my talk presentation. Cyber security is also seen hardware level, and then design development of charging station for electric vehicles, which is a very important research topic. Smart charging of electrical vehicles, grid to vehicle, etc., etc. Integration of battery supercapacitor systems of electrical vehicles. Some of this work would be eventually linked to Mahindra Group, because they have a very strong manufacturing facility on electric vehicles. Now coming back to computer science and engineering, which on many of our undergraduates usually seek to get into computer science and engineering these days. So this is our faculty snapshot of either they have done that. This is the head of the department, Professor Bhattacharya. He has done his PhD from Michigan State University, and we have other colleagues. Either they have done their PhD from abroad or PhDs from IITs. You can get more details when you visit their website. These are the broad areas or topics which our computer science faculty are involved with. Theoretical computer science, applied cryptography, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, semantic and web, computational linguistics. I'm not an expert in this area. Computer networking, high performance computing, systems and network security, exact humanities, and computing. These are some of the areas. More areas they are involved with. We have a fairly strong group of faculty in CSE department. Security of cyber physical systems is a very popular jargon today. IoT, performance measurement, security at home, internet, IoT environments, robust learning models against adversarial attacks. Phishing, you will often see this kind of words coming to when you open your emails. Phishing detection using machine learning, development of scalable and smart intrusion detection systems, attribute-based access control models for IoT, and fake news diffusion models. We also have we have a group we have a colleague, a couple of colleagues who are good in natural language processing, NLP. Yeah. Then more, there are the other areas where the faculty is working. Fuzzy consensus clustering, technique for plant genomes, federated learning models for IoT optimization in wireless sensor networks, privacy preserving data processing on cloud servers, Crowd server is a very popular topic, as you know. Formal methods for security for mobile applications, social computing models, and machine learning for disease comprehension, development of ontological models for studying the confluence of computing and humanities. In the area of artificial intelligence, we are starting a BTech program also. Some of this would be discussed. I think I'll just leave it to my colleague, Professor Arya Bhattacharya, who will join a little later. He has a lecture to give for some of the class. So I
have joined actually.
Can I do that?
I have. Yeah, I can go through this.
But please do it very
fast. I hope my voice.
Yeah, voice.
Yes. Okay.
Please do it
fine.
Very
so
fast.
You see, yeah, I'll do that. So I will actually bypass the earlier part. I'll just go through the research investigation. Actually, I've divided this into two parts. There was an application which is no longer okay. Research investigations. So exploration of evolutionary optimization for training in deep learning and concomitant impact on different aspects of deep learning functionality developed under the backpropagation paradigm. So you see, mostly deep learning or almost entirely deep learning works on backpropagation these days. All right, or rather has been right from the beginning. I mean, deep learning itself came about 10 years back, let's say. But we are trying to investigate something called as evolutionary optimization, which is an alternative, completely different paradigm for training of ANNs or the various varieties of ANNs. Then investigating transpose CNNs with fractional strides in novel architectures designed for complex process monitoring and control in real time using limited sensor data. So, okay, I just not going to description of this. Novel deep learning architectures for incremental learning, optimal synthesis of associative memories, then quantum-inspired neural network training algorithms and particle swarm optimization algorithm, cognitive modeling through conceptual spaces and social computing. I think we just covered this for generation and comprehension of metaphorical mappings, and design of scalable fuzzy-based clustering algorithms for big data. And then we have a lot of applications. In fact, we are doing most of these as projects with external agents, including industries, as regular external projects. So one of them is advanced prediction of adverse digressions in continuous time systems using something called extreme learning machines. LSTM are basically long short-term memory and Koopman operator. Then game theory-based expert systems for complex industrial reactors. In fact, this is something which is absolutely unique, which we are doing here, and we have achieved quite a lot of success in this area. So applications of multi-objective evolutionary algorithms in diverse sectors, and a lot of sectors actually. Applications of associative memories for text, audio, video storage and retrieval. Then detection and prevention against cyberbullying on social media platforms, modeling of cultural and social context for identification of inappropriate texts. So this 5 and 6 come more or less within the natural language processing domains. Then classification of disease data sets and medical images for identifying adverse regions. So you can understand that this is now going into the biological and medical domains. Prediction of agricultural crop yields using ANNs. Fuzzy-based federated learning model for IoT. Analysis of musical features, that is acoustics and properties, music information retrieval and recommendation systems, and also structural health monitoring of different classes of structures, incorporating evaluation of crack detection and propagation from images and video footages, vibration analysis. So definitely either the application areas or the fundamental research areas are actually, can support major research projects in which we can involve PhD students. Okay.
Thank you, Professor Arya. The audience, the listeners in the audience, you can see that our computer science people are also involved. For example, the last application mentioned by Professor Arya was on structural health monitoring. Essentially, this is a civil engineering subject. So when I cover civil engineering faculty expertise, it will probably come back again later. So let me move on. Next comes the mechanical engineering department, where we have a fairly good amount of, large amount of faculty. I think they're one of the largest department. Here, Professor Ranjit Punath is the head of the department who did who earned his PhD from Harvard University. We have a very huge industry experience, Professor Bhaskar Tamma. Likewise, Professor Abhijit Bhattacharya, and so on. So quite a few of them had their PhDs from abroad or IIT Delhi. And IITs, one of the IITs. And All of them are quite heavily involved in research. Let me go to the areas they work on. So theoretical solid mechanics, these are the first 3-4 items are all in which Professor Ranjit Kunat works. He is a theorist in mechanical engineering. Does high-level theory for mechanical engineering applications, theoretical solid mechanics, fracture mechanics, frictional instabilities, wave propagation in solids, and so on. Develop new computational methods in solid mechanics. Then there is a colleague who worked on tribological behavior of certain alloys, which are identified here, titanium-based alloys, for strategic aerospace applications. This Polash Raichaudhuri, his name is, he had his PhD from ISC Bangalore. Oxide thin films, role of interfaces in the performance of oxide thin film devices. Development of prototype high field 5T standing for Tesla, 5T pulse magnet. Development of high performance structural dampers for vibration absorption and control. This is Professor Bhattacharya's work, Abhijit Bhattacharya's domain. Development of novel lead-free piezoelectric ceramic composites, riveting piezoelectric ceramics. Then design and development of mechanical. Oh, sorry. This area. Yeah, these first 3 listed items. These are Professor. He is a new faculty who has joined, young faculty who has joined from USA about a year back. So he works on this kind of areas: development of novel lead-free piezoelectric ceramic composites, riveting piezoelectric ceramics, design and development of mechanical metamaterials. Metamaterials I mentioned in terms of physics faculty colleagues doing work, and here he's a person who works on mechanical metamaterials for diverse applications, utilizing sophisticated designs, optimization, fabrication tools. So these are highly contemporary new areas of research. Constitutive modeling of B-modified Ti64 alloy, microstructure, sensitive modeling of wear behavior of B-modified alloys, modeling combination in granular materials application to fusion reactors. This is Professor Jagan, one of my colleagues in the mechanical department, and DM-based modeling of reinforcement and pull-out behavior of geogrids. Biomedical robotics, as I told you, there is a group on robotics who work jointly with the electrical department in realizing the robots. So biomedical robotics, or so-called exoskeleton wearable devices, development of mobile robot platform, investigation of chip formation using issues affecting improved productivity of machining. These are Professor Abhijit Bhattacharya's domain. Tribological characterization of alloys using pin-on-disc tribometer, development of GUI and graphics user interface-based tools for cutting force and power prediction using mathematical models, and computational fluid dynamics, heat transfer, Monte Carlo ray tracing for radiation heat transfer in solar absorbers, multi-phase flow modeling for packed bed energy storage. This is a couple of faculty mechanical, they work in this area, Bhaskar Tamma and Manish Agarwal. Development of effective thermal management system for electric vehicle and battery pack during fast charging, discharging. Some other faculty works on multifunctional composites, energy harvesting, storage, lightweight composite structures, additive manufacturing, theoretical fluid dynamic and dynamic systems theory, and application areas like microfluidic, lab-on-a-chip device, micro-robotics, and bio-expert location, Manish Agarwal. I give you a few snapshots of some of the infrastructure that we have for the mechanical engineering department. Once again, I would like to highlight, these are housed in specific departments, but these are central equipment which anyone at the institute can make use of. This is an HSS sample cutter, high temperature tube furnace with a gas mixing and pumping capability, specimen mounting press for further tests. And there is a mechanical testing facility, Rockwell hardness tester, Baker hardness tester, and so on. There's a bringing product to life with 3D printing. There's a lot of work going on 3D printing based research, or designing different devices for practical use. This is an engineering design lab. they have several equipments here. You can see here one person is working with a design team. These are some of the robots, basic educational robot. This is Ultimaker 2 Plus resolution 20 microns 3D printer and lab development mobile robot. One of these I have shown earlier in terms of EEE faculty competence or expertise. And this one is another, okay, maybe I think there is a, if it works, let me see. It is a video. Okay. And there's something called the Stuart platform. So more details, if you are interested, you can always visit us or in contact, touch with the mechanical engineering faculty. Industrial robot manipulators, known as manipulators are. This bought from AB components. Then heat transfer characteristics of an electrochemical cell. Preparation of the battery pack, preparation, development of the thermal model. The students are working. Development of an e-bike at AMEC. Just you can see the picture with lots of things which have gone into making it a successful electrical bike. Then I come to the Civil Engineering Department faculty. We have here Professor Ganesh Babu, who is retired from IIT Madras. Vakar Singh is the head of the department. And there are other faculties. Either they have done their PhD from one of the IITs or outside India. So areas they work on: sustainable pavement solutions, potential reuse of different secondary or waste materials in both asphalt, concrete pavements. It's a civil engineering subject. You have to appreciate that. Vehicle emission, construction of real-world driving cycles for different class of vehicles in heterogeneous traffic conditions. Electrical vehicles, so we have electrical department faculty also working on that. So civil engineering faculties are concerned with estimation of emission factors, etc. Super in comparison to conventional IC engines, super high strength strain hardening composites with high strength. The department has a strong group on materials for civil engineering structure, and they are building up further programs in that direction. Composites, which is a lot of research opportunities will be there. Composites with high strength, lightweight, machinability materials which are machinable, impact, blast, temperature resistant of structural composites, ultra high strength of performance and structural materials. Development of geopolymer concrete mixes for strength to meet strength and durability requirements, quality control of pavement layers, earthworks to non-destructive NDT, non-destructive tests, study geosynthetic reinforced pavements constructed with construction materials and demolition waste materials, information and communication IC technology as applied to transportation engineering, transit-oriented development and impact on travel behavior, smart mobility, exploring solutions for enhanced mobility, and green transport, sustainable transport and air pollution. Then we have a group in civil engineering department. They work on heritage structures. They have a very good lab also. So this is concerned with, they focus on work like numerical modeling and analysis of heritage structures, structural health assessment and monitoring of RCC steel, historical structures and so on. They have done quite a few such work actually in Hyderabad city in some of the heritage structures, structural damage identification and quantification using artificial intelligence that Professor Arya was mentioning, development of smart structures using wireless sensors, prediction of aftershocks using machine learning and AI. You know, in wireless sensor, we have a couple of faculty who are very good. One is Professor Ramamurthy in computer science, and one is Dr. Shayan Hazra in electrical department. So these are all interdisciplinary kind of subjects. Predictions of aftershocks using machine learning and AI, controlled demolition of reinforced concrete RCC structure, and effect of vehicle impact on reinforced concrete structures. These are some of the figures, some of the pictures that have been taken from the laboratory that we have in the civil engineering department. Some of the major civil engineering equipments, I'll just quickly show you to give you what kind of infrastructure we have in civil engineering research. This is a control equipment for compressible testing machines under very high loads, medium loads, or low loads. Automatic multi-test computerized console. There's a universal testing machine for tensile, compression, and shear flexure hardness tests. Then there is a machine which is called the loading frame with 10-ton capacity for plate load test and vertical pull-out. Department also uses a lot of softwares which are very much necessary for, as you know, for structural engineering and so on. So these are examples of some of the softwares that is available for research students to make use of. This is available. There's a lot of softwares are available in every department. So as an institute had bought as a central facility. Coming to Department of Chemistry, it is a relatively small department. We have 3 colleagues here, 2 ladies, and Professor Venkat Raman, who is the head of the department. He had his PhD from ISC. Another PhD, Gomuti, is also from JNCISR, which is essentially ISC, Jawaharlal Nehru Center for Advanced Research. And then Chitra Gundani, she did a PhD from Ajmer. So broad areas of research of my chemistry colleagues are development of new routes to functional inorganic materials and design synthesis of new single source molecular precursors. Little more details will be there in the next slide. The selective CVD or chemical vapor deposition of main group chalcogenides, then non-destructive, nanostructured phase change memory materials, nanostructured thermoelectric materials, design and functioning of a redox flow battery, and cluster chemistry, design of nitrogenase mix for denitrogen reduction. I don't understand it completely, so I just read it out on behalf of my chemistry colleagues. Continuing with their research in chemistry, oxides and surface modification, they do nitrous and morphology control synthesis and composite oxide nanostructure for photocatalytic water treatment. As you know, the nano is a very buzzword in today's science and technology. So they are involved in nanomaterials. Also, our physics colleagues are involved to an extent on nanostructured materials, nanosite materials. Then I go over to research at mathematics department. These are the faculty. Head of the departments as of now is Dr. Satya Narayana, PhD from IIT Madras. You will see several PhDs from IIT Madras here, and we have 2 young ladies, one from IIT Roorkee PhD, Sangyukta Das, and others from university, PhD from Hyderabad University. Their areas of research: partial differential equation, PD, and Monte Carlo simulation-based numerical techniques for option pricing problems in finance. We have a colleague, Dr. Manoj Yadav. He teaches a course here to the BTech on financial management. Financial mathematics for finance. So he is good at it. So which are used for example, stock exchange and so on. Analysis and applications of various range-force learning algorithm, optimization, optimal stopping problems in finance, mathematical and data-driven modeling of various intervention strategies, impact on epidemic evolution and control. Today, in the context of COVID-19, it's a very important area to model. Development of radial basis function-based free methods for solving PDA with applications in fluid flow and heat transfer problems. Continuing their research in mathematics, development of radial basis function-based grid-free methods for solving partial differential equation with applications in areas like fluid flow, heat transfer problems. Partial differential equation based image processing is a very interesting subject. Dr. Mahindra is an expert in that. Finite difference schemes for nonlinear partial differential equations and developing fractional calculus for numerical applications. Again, a very modern subject for characterizing dynamical process and image processing. Now coming to the other last, I think will be the last for the in terms of departments. We have a research at Humanities and Social Science department. You probably would know that we have a strong emphasis on liberal arts here at our institute. So you can see the director of the institute, Dr. Riyaz Miduri, although a technocrat, he did his solid mechanics PhD, IIT, BTech from IIT Kharagpur, is a technocrat, but now turned over to management. And he is also on the faculty here. He guides a lot of research in the area of things like organizational behavior and how to market a product and so on. Dr. Salome, Professor Salome, she is the head of the department. She's with an English background. We have a professor who is purely a professor dedicated to entrepreneurs. His name is Professor Arya Bhattacharya. Then we have Sibdashini and several others in literature and so on, and media. I'll go over to another 2 slides. I'll describe a little more about their work. And here is one lady here, Mudam. She is a French teacher here. She did her doctorate last year. So here is Maud. She is a guest faculty, we can say adjunct faculty in French. We have Bonil Thomas, Tamal Paul, expert in cinematography, and so on. So broad areas of research, you can get details about them in our website. The broad areas of research are English literature, English American literature, religion, philosophy, Baroque literature, world literature, and phonetics, gender studies, women's writing, theories of feminism, Indian writing in English and translation, cultural studies, popular culture, urban studies. These are work areas of Dr. Paramita Bose. Leadership and behavioral training, quality management, productive maintenance, higher education, lean, machine and low-cost automation, learning and development. Dr. Subhadashini's expertise. Then we have, she continues the competence making, employer branding, consumer behavior. These are the areas of Dr. Meduri also for research. Reflective thinking and professional development. Emotional intelligence is a very popular term these days. English language education, teacher training education, teacher cognition. These are work areas of work for Dr. Tabitha. So with this, I thank you all for listening to this. We can probably now, I don't know how they will organize, the organizers of the webinar, how to take questions. You have to probably chat box, you have to put your question. I don't know that. You just wait for announcements. Thank you very much. Yes, Praveen. Hello. Okay, the question is, would you be able to leverage the French Connect of MEC in these programs in any way? Of course, yes. We do have, you see, there would be even possibilities of making a joint work in a particular area with a French colleague. We have our partnership with the French Ecole Central group of institutions that are 5 is very much there. Some of them come for short duration, like 1 credit course delivery to our bachelor students, and our students also go for summer internship there. And likewise, a PhD student. In fact, one PhD student at the beginning time of MEC, he did part of his PhD work. He was a French student. Did part of his PhD work in our computer science department with Professor Arya for about 3-4 months. He was here. So this is very much possible. It depends on the topic of research and involvement of your advisor with corresponding French experts. Any other question?
So there is a question.
Arya, go ahead if you have to say something.
Yes. So will there be any special focus on innovation, incubation, entrepreneurship aspects as well in this program? So when you say in this program, I assume that you're talking about PhD program. Prima facie, the answer is yes. So if in the process of doing a PhD, you come up with innovative ideas which have got a business prospect, then certainly it can be having the mapping into the corresponding entrepreneurship aspects as well. And as Professor Pal said, we have got Dr. Patate and a very active innovation cell, which will actually try to promote this according to the requirements or the possibility, the potential of the idea and the development. Then there is a second question. Can you give me the research in electronics and communication engineering? So we have already, I think Professor Pal has already gone through the slides on the research activities in electronics and electrical engineering. And we don't call it communication engineering per se, but communication is incorporated in that. And like we have got people, quite a few faculty who are working in the area of wireless communications as well as other communications like 5G, even 6G. So Professor Pal, would like to say
something also wireless communication, also wireless.
Yes. PhD program offered by MEC or Mahindra University. So you see, Mahindra University is the university that offers PhD program. So Mahindra Ecole Centrale was the original engineering college, and we have to work out the exact details. So MEC, I think, will remain as the engineering institution of Mahindra University. But I think these things are still to be finally frozen. But yes, the PhD degree will come from Mahindra University.
Okay. I can see. Just hold on. Let me see. I want to study lateral entry PhD in maths, operations, research, and supply chain analysis. So lateral entry, you have to go through the coursework and so on. We can't do a lateral entry.
So in the PhD program, there's nothing like lateral entry. You have, there are some basic course. There's a structured program, but at the start you have to go through certain coursework which is relevant to the area in which you want to do your PhD. You cannot really have a lateral entry like you may be having in some places. I don't know, but one has to go through the rigor here.
Oh, what is the admission procedure? It will be there on the website. Am I audible? About the PhD admission. PhD admission would be this year. It would be through oral interview, which would be through on the web, but it's not yet decided. But you look for advertisements on our website. To join PhD, is there any entrance? Yes, there's an entrance. Means that test, oral test, is an interview to find out, are you prepared for a PhD level work.
So there is a question. I just read out the question. As a working professional, can I have option to work remotely and connect on time-to-time basis? I'm working somewhere, let's say, but outside Hyderabad. So the answer to this would be that once you have gone through your basic courses, you can definitely work remotely and connect on time-to-time basis in the sense that you continue to do your research outside the institute. I do not think there is, that there is any scope that the PhD candidate does not do the basic coursework. So probably one semester at least of residence is needed.
You have to do the coursework. That will be there. You'll see the details, rules at the website. Very short. Fee structure for the PhD program. Someone has asked. This you check with our marketing team. There's a question. I am working in teaching field since 14 years. Am I eligible to do PhD in computer science and engineering at MEC? Yes, of course. But if you want to do a full time, you have to take leave from your institute for 3 to 4 years. Yes, so there was a lot of questions on part-time. Yeah, with part-time, we have the details on the website.
Okay. There's a question about MTech plus PhD dual program is available in civil engineering. Actually, we don't have a dual program like that. But if a person joins as a PhD, and let us say the person also completes the coursework, and for some reason does not want to further pursue the PhD after maybe 1 or 2 years, he can be given an MS by research. But then, like we still have to frame the exact rules for that. So I will request you to wait for the advertisement that comes out. As of now, we don't have a dual MTech plus PhD program. So if there are no further questions, Professor Pal, I think we will.
Just hold on. I'm sending 2 more questions. There is one question Jana has asked. I'd like to know the eligibility criteria for admission in PhD physics. It's the same in every branch of every subject, whether it is or engineering. You have to have 60% or first class in your graduating degree, and followed by an interview. I have completed coursework at other private university. Please give me the phone number ID. You can get into our website. You will get. You can connect with any one of us. I think we are done. So I want
there is
to
another question. Okay.
There are more. I'm rolling. I'm finding out. I want to register PhD in mechanical. Please explain the process for registering. It's the same. As I said, you have to have a first class or 60% in your last graduating degree, and you will have an interview with our faculty before selection.
So there is another question. I did my BSc.
Another important question. Just hold on, Arya. There's a question, sir. Will there be any scholarship or support from institute for? Yes, of course. We'll have details. You watch on the website.
So there is another fairly long question. I just read the last part. I completed my MTech in CSE. I'm working in teaching field since 14 years. Am I eligible to do PhD in computer science? The answer is, of course, eligibility does depend on the grades, but then the prima facie the answer is yes. But then there will be some coursework also that has to be done, maybe for a semester or so, depending on what are your. So I think 1 semester should be good enough for you possibly to cover about a few credits that you will. That exact credits and all that will be given along with the advertisement. Okay.
Somebody asked maximum duration of the PhD program. You should rather ask what is the minimum duration of the PhD program. Then only you would be working more efficiently. And yeah, maximum maybe 7 years, 6 years, something. But that is not important. Important is minimum. So minimum would be roughly with the coursework, and it will be about 4 plus as a typical, depending on of course your efforts and progress. Is MEC starting any MTech program? Yes, probably from next year. Whether we have to publish papers? Yes, of course. That would be with the supervision of an advisor. You will part of, as I mentioned, that before you get to the degree level, you have to also encourage publications. So you have to try to publish your research in international journals or international conferences.
One question: is there any year limit? Can someone who has done his years ago apply? The answer is yes, but then the person, whoever is coming, has to go through the coursework for the program, and the coursework load is more for a person with only graduation degree versus the person who has masters. Masters means MTech. So shall we?
Go ahead.
I think we can end here. So, Professor Pal, would you like to say the words? And
I'm just rolling almost toward the end. There's a question: is MEC, now that MEC has become Mahindra University, is still connection with Ecole Center? Yes, it will continue. It will continue. I think more or less the other questions are related to what have been more or less answered, and we can you can always approach either us or our marketing team for your questions, and those will be all answered by email or by telephone. I think we are there is no more questions, so should we sign off? Praveen and others.
okay, so thank you very much.
Yeah.
To Professor Pal and to all the audience for being professionals to us and the organizers. Thank you very much, and I look forward to many of you joining us here. Thank you.
Thank you.